Good evening and welcome to Easter Monday's Yoga Club class. Do remember that your participation in the class is at your own risk, and do listen to your own body and tune into how you're feeling tonight, being prepared to miss anything out or take the easier options if that's what your body needs this evening. We're going to start the class lying down, so if you want to stretch yourself out, come into a good Shavasana pose. So feet out to the corners of the mat, hands away from your body, your palms turned up. Once you're lying down, just taking a few moments to relax. Taking a few moments to bring your awareness into tonight's class. To allow your body to relax, to allow your mind to relax. Being aware of the back of your body against the ground. Maybe making any adjustments so that the back of your body is evenly against the ground. So as much as possible, the contact evenly spreads and is balanced between the left and the right hand side of the body. Being aware of your breathing. Breath awareness is a good way to bring the mind into the body. Feeling the rise of the inhale, allowing your body to relax on the exhale. The more your body relaxes now, the more relaxed your muscles will be, the more they'll be able to stretch, strengthen and lengthen throughout the class. We're going to start awakening the spine tonight. To prepare, bend your knees, bringing your feet in towards you, with your feet hip distance apart, very much as you do when we're preparing for a bridge pose. Bringing your hands in by your side with your palms turned down. And then tilting your tailbone up towards the ceiling. And just feeling how as you tilt your tailbone up to the ceiling, your lower back presses into the ground. And then press your hips away from you so your tailbone tucks under, feeling your lower back lift away from the ground. And then take that movement with your next few breaths. So as you inhale, you're tilting your tailbone up. And as you exhale, you're tilting your tailbone down. It's just a small movement of the hips, being aware of your lower back lifting on the exhale, pressing down on the inhale. And then next time you inhale and feel your lower back pressing down, you could then start to lift your hips away from the ground so that your lower back peels more away from the ground and you start to lift your upper back away from the ground as well. As you exhale, slowly lowering your back down to the ground. When you've finished landing your hips down, then tilt your tailbone down so your lower back lifts. So then keep that movement going with your breath. So inhaling, tilt your tailbone up, lifting your back away from the ground, coming into a very light, easy bridge. Exhale as you bring your back down to the ground. So it's that real sense of peeling the back away from the ground on the inhale and of draping the back down onto the ground on the exhale. Making it a nice even movement lasting the whole of the breath. knowing that these moves that we do early in the class to warm the body are ideal things that you could do before you go out running or riding. And next time you exhale, draping your spine down onto the ground, hold there and stretch your legs out. Turning your palms to face up for a moment, taking a breath there. Bringing your legs together, taking your arms up above your head. If it's comfortable for your shoulders, you could interlace your hands, pointing your palms away, or have your hands separate, pointing your fingers away. Pressing your toes forward as your hands stretch back, narrowing and lengthening the whole of your body. On your next exhale, release the stretch, bringing your hands down by your side and slowly come to sitting up. And from sitting up, coming to standing. So again, another of the things that you could do to get the body moving before you go out running or riding. When you go, you should ideally, when you start running or riding, you should either start slowly or do some kind of warm up before you go out. And these things that we do here are a good warm up before you go out. Now this one, you need to make sure you've got plenty of room in front of you, because we're going to take a leg kick forward and a leg kick backwards. So you just need, maybe you could do a quick test one to make sure you've got space in front and behind. Then landing your feet down, feet hip distance apart, hands by your side, relaxing. And then taking your weight over onto your right foot so that you can pick up your left leg, pick up your left foot off the ground, and then start penduluming backwards and forwards. Just starting nice and slow and low whilst your balance establishes itself, and then starting to pick up the speed once you're sure you've got the space, and maybe picking up the height. So this is a warm up for the hips, a warm up for the quads, a warm up for the hamstrings. And if you want to warm your shoulders up as well, you could bring your hands into play too. Stretching your hands backwards and forwards as your leg comes backwards and forwards. And then slowing the left leg down, slowing the arms down until you land your left foot down, resetting your hands to hip width apart, hands relaxed by your side, taking your weight over onto your left foot so that you can pick up your right. Starting to then pendulum backwards and forwards. Again, increasing height and speed in line with your balance. Finding that point just before you overbalance, and when you're ready, bringing your hands into play as well. And slowing that down, landing your foot down, hands by your side. Just take a couple of breaths there, relaxing your shoulders as you take them. And then come into the top of your mat, ready for our sun salutations. So feet coming together, hands relaxing by your side. Letting your shoulders relax, tilting the top of your chest up to the ceiling. We'll begin with 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, bringing your palms together at the center of your chest. Shoulders relax, palms pressed together. Maybe taking your shoulders back a little, bringing your shoulder blades together so you feel your back activate. Then reaching your hands up, looking between your hands, Stretching your arms higher so that your arms lift out of your armpits, and then tilt your rib cage up and back. So you start to take your armpits back. But this movement's coming from your chest. It's your chest tilting up rather than leaning back. So any discomfort in your lower back, ease forward. From your hips, start to stretch forward and then down. Bending your knees as much as you need so that your fingertips touch the ground. Let your neck muscles relax so your head hangs heavy. Take your right foot all the way back. Let your hips relax and lift your gaze. Pressing your right heel away. Allowing your left hip to relax down. Maybe just lifting your left front hip bone up just a little so that it feels like your hips are good and level. Sending your right foot back, coming into our first down face dog. Hips lift on high to the ceiling at the top of your upside down V. Your hands press into the mat, your heels press down into the mat, taking your weight towards your legs. Come forward to plank. Shoulders come over your wrists, looking between your hands. Maybe a little bit of navel drawn up towards your spine so you've got strength at your core. And lower your knees, followed by your chest, keeping a little lift in your hips, bringing your chin in touch with the ground, then pressing forward as you lift your chest forward and up, shoulder blades ease down your back, elbows coming in close, tucking your toes and lifting your hips from there. You can take them back to your heels first or come up in one smooth movement. Hips are lifting on high as your hands press down, as your heels press down. We'll take our calf stretches here. So we're going to be in down face dog for a while. If it gets more than you need, you can bring your knees down. So bending your right knee. And as you next exhale, pressing your left heel firmly to the mat. Inhaling, swapping that over. So now you're bending your left knee. Exhale, right heel firmly down. Inhale, swap. Exhale, left heel to the mat. Feeling that stretch in your left calf. Inhaling, swap. Exhale, right heel presses down. One more each side. Inhale to swap. Exhale, left heel to the mat. Inhale, swap. Exhale, right heel. Press your left heel down to join the right. If you've got energy, reset your dog. Hips lift, hands press down, heels press down. Then look between your hands, bringing your right foot through. Help it through as much as you need with your right hand, aiming to get your shin vertical. Let your hips relax. Then let's bring your left foot through. Back to our forward fold, letting your fingers touch the ground, your neck muscles relax. Then reaching up, arms arc up to the ceiling, looking between your hands, lifting your arms out of their sockets, taking your chest up to the ceiling, and hands come down. Inhale. Exhale, palms press firmly together. Shoulder blades relaxing. Reaching your hands up, looking between them, tilting your rib cage up to the ceiling. From your hips, stretch all the way forward, all the way down. Fingertips coming into line with your toes on the mat. Neck muscles relax, so you'll be looking towards your knees. Left leg all the way back. Let your hips relax, leveling your hips. So that might mean lifting your right hip bone a little. Sending your left heel away from you so your left leg lengthens. Then right leg comes back, down face dog. Hips lift, hands press down, heels press down, chest guiding back towards your knees. Coming forward to plank. Shoulder blades relax down your back in plank. A little bit of core switched on. If you're feeling strong tonight, you could take your elbows back to come down in one straight line, or lower knees, then chest. Or maybe a little bit of straight line, then knees, then chest. Make contact with your chin or forehead on the mat. Then lift your face and lift your chest. Pressing forward as you do so, shoulder blades relax down your back, elbows towards the back of the room. Tuck your toes under, Lift your hips to down face dog. Hands press forward and down, heels press down. Chest guided towards your knees. Feeling a stretch in your armpits. Looking between your hands, bringing your left foot through. Finding your lunge for a moment, stretching your hips, stretching your left hip, right hip flexor. Bringing your right foot through to forward fold. This is a moment of rest and calm in the sequence, so allow yourself to relax. And reach and stretch all the way up. Arms lift to the ceiling, stretching them up. Hands come down. Inhale. Exhale. So we'll take one more round. We'll flow this round with our breath. I will offer you a breath to go with each move. If aligning with the breath is more than you need tonight, then focus on the moves first. The breath can come another week. Hands relaxing, crown of your head lifting. We begin with a rest breath. Inhale. Exhale, palms press firmly together, shoulder blades relax. Inhale, stretch and reach up, lifting your arms up and back. Exhale, stretch and reach forward and down, head hangs heavy. Inhale, right leg back. Lift your gaze, let your hips relax. Exhale, left foot back. Hips lift on high to the ceiling as your hands press down in down face dog. Inhaling forward to plank. Looking between your hands. Exhale as you lower. One straight line on knees, then chest. Inhale, press forward, lifting your face and lifting your chest into a cobra. Exhale, toes tuck, hips lift on high, hands press down. Inhale, right foot through, let your hips relax. Exhale, left foot through. Let the exhale help you to relax down. Inhale, stretch and reach up, looking between your hands. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, that's our rest breath. Exhale, palms pressed together. Inhale, stretch and reach up and back. Exhale, forward, all the way down. Inhale, left leg back, lift your gaze. Exhale, right foot back, hips lift on high, chest guided to your knees. Inhale, forward to plank, looking between your hands. Exhale as you lower. Inhale, face and chest lifts, elbows to the back of the room. Exhale, toes tuck, hips lift on high, hands press forward and down. Inhale, left foot through. Our final lunge, lifting your gaze, letting your hips relax. Exhale, right foot through. Forward fold, head hanging heavy. Inhale, stretch and reach up. Looking between your hands, taking your arms and the armpits back. Exhale, hands down. Taking your feet apart, turning your palms to face forward for 2 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Wonderful. Come to lying down on your mat. Stretching your legs out. Palms turn up, finding your Shavasana pose. And then once you've found it, you can let everything go. Just tuning into how your body feels after our sun salutations and our warm up. Noticing any sensations going on in the body. Anywhere where your body's just letting you know it's done some work, it's moved, it's stretched. Now we're going to take a stretch of our legs, bending your knees, bringing your feet in towards you. Let me move my camera down. So that your feet are on the ground, feet hip distance apart.
Very good.
Bringing your right knee up onto your chest and just bringing your arms around your knee or the back of your knee to draw the knee in towards your chest. And with your knee tucked in close, lift your head so that you can reach around your knee to take a firm grip of your foot. So you've got your fingertips are around the padded bit at the base of your toes. When you're ready, you can then take your head back down, lifting your foot back with you as you take your head down. And if you can, let your head rest back whilst you have a hold of your leg. So we're going to take a stretch of the leg. So when you're ready, you can just start to straighten your leg a little. I'm not expecting you to get your leg straight, but just straightening up by pressing your heel up towards the ceiling. And as you do that, draw the base of your toes down towards you. So that should bring on a good, strong calf stretch. Let your shoulders relax. You're likely to have tensed those up as you do this, so allow your shoulders to relax. And then use your next few breaths so that as you inhale, you see if you can press your heel a little more to the ceiling. So you're just making your leg a little straighter. And as you exhale, relax your upper body, relax your shoulders, drawing your toes down towards you a little more, strengthening the stretch in your calf. So inhaling, straightening a little, exhaling, relaxing your upper body, drawing your toes down. You might find that gets a little bit trembly. That might be a sign just to ease back a little, so bend your knee a little more in towards you. Take one more breath. And release your right leg. Stretch both legs out, hands by your side. And then just take a little rotate of your feet side to side. So it's as if your feet have become windscreen wipers. Just to ease out a little, taking your feet left and right. Then bringing that to a halt, bending your knees, bringing your feet in towards you. Now lifting your left knee up onto your chest. Take a hold around your knee or the back of your knee. Draw your knee in nice and close. This brings your foot a little closer for when we reach for it in a moment. Lifting your head away from the ground, reaching around to take a firm grip of your foot, the base of your foot. And then lifting your foot up to the ceiling as you take your head back down. So you're effectively taking your head down and bringing your foot with it. Starting to straighten that leg by taking your heel up towards the ceiling, but not expecting to straighten it. You're simply aiming to get a good level of stretch down the back of your left leg and down the calf. Strengthening the calf stretch by drawing your base of your toes more firmly down towards you. And then with your breath, you're aiming to get a good level of stretch that's neither too strong nor too light, just the right amount for your body tonight. Inhaling, pressing your left heel up to the ceiling, so you're making your leg a little straighter. Exhaling, relaxing your shoulders and drawing your toes a little closer down towards you. So strengthening the stretch in your calf. Taking one more breath, final press up of your heel, a final ease down of your toes. Then let go of your foot, stretching your leg out, stretching your other leg out as well, palms turn up, and then just take your feet, your toes side to side, easing out your calves. Bringing that to a halt. Taking your arms above your head, interlacing your fingers if that's comfortable, pressing your palms away. Pressing your toes away from you, stretching out long. Feeling that stretch across the whole of the front of your body from toes to hands. Releasing, bringing your hands by your side. And coming to sitting. And sitting to standing. Ready to do our ITBs. So for our ITBs today, for those who were here last week or watched the video last week, we did this one where we lean over to the side, which stretches more the top of the ITB. Today we're going to take a forward fold, which will focus more on the lower bit of the ITB where it connects under the knee. So, as ever when stretching the ITB, bring your left foot across your right so that you have a bend in your left knee and your back knee, your right leg is completely straight with your right foot pressing into the ground. Then just come up nice and straight so that if there was a wall behind you, both of your shoulder blades would be resting evenly on the wall. So you're neither forward with one shoulder or the other, your shoulders are just evenly back against the wall. Lifting your hands, stretching your hands up, and then as you exhale, start pressing yourself forward and down. Just coming down nice and slowly, almost sticking your tailbone or sticking your bum up towards the ceiling as you come down. When you can come down no further, you can just let your hands relax down to the ground. You can let your neck muscles relax, you can let your chest relax down to the ground, letting everything relax down to the ground. If your fingertips touch the ground, then let them touch the ground. If they don't, you might want to take hold of the opposite elbow with the opposite hand. And then you should be feeling some kind of stretch down the outside of your right leg. It's our right ITB we're stretching. To allow you to feel more, you can use your breath so that every time you exhale, you let your upper body relax down over your legs a little more, keeping your back foot, your right foot pressing into the ground, tilting your tailbone up to the ceiling as you relax down. Using each out breath, as always, that's the one that will relax every muscle in your body. And then being aware of what you're feeling. Not everybody will get a strong sensation with this, but you may be feeling, particularly around the right knee, where the ITB connects. Releasing your hands down to the ground if you've got a hold of your elbows. And as you next inhale, slowly uncurl and unfurl back up. Maybe rolling your shoulders back and uncrossing your legs. Taking your right foot across the left. Just bringing your hands onto your hips, making sure that your shoulder blades would be evenly pressing on a wall if you were to have one behind you. Your back foot's pressing into the ground, your right foot's just relaxing into the ground. Lifting your arms, stretching tall as you exhale, hinging forward. So pressing yourself forward as well as down, sticking your sitting bones up towards the ceiling as you descend. When you come down as far as you can, let your body relax, keeping your sitting bones tilting up, keeping that back leg good and straight. If your fingertips don't touch the ground, take a hold of the opposite elbow, relaxing your neck muscles so your head hangs heavy to the ground. And using each out breath to just sink a little lower to the ground. Being aware of what you're feeling down the outside of the left leg, around the left knee. Maybe more or less than on the right leg. We tend to be quite asymmetrical with this, so one leg may well be stronger or lighter. So you can just tilt your tailbone, your sitting bones up to the ceiling a touch more. And if you have a hold of your elbows, let your arms release. And as you inhale, slowly uncurl back upwards, nice and steadily, there's no rush. And once you're up, taking a roll back of your shoulders. They tend to compress down, so taking them back, uncrossing your legs, and maybe a bit of a shake of your legs there. Come into lying down. Ready to do a little bit of work on our core. So for our core, we're going to take dynamic crow. So coming to lie with your knees bent and taking your arms above your head. So this is a core exercise. You want your navel drawing towards your spine so that your core muscles are switched on and engaged and all ready to do some work. Keeping that on throughout. So navel drawing down, core muscles engaged. Then as you next exhale, lift your upper back and arms away from the ground, lifting your feet so that your knees are coming in towards you, bringing your arms over to make a contact somewhere between your knees and your arms. The closer you are to your armpits, the stronger it is, but you might be anywhere along your arms, including towards your wrists. As you next inhale, stretch that out, so your arms stretch up and back, your feet land down. And then keep that going with your breath. As you exhale, you're lifting up, making contact with knees and arms. As you inhale, taking it back down. And if you want to then make this stronger, you can send your feet further away as you inhale. Knowing that if you stretch your legs completely straight, then that will be the strongest. Remembering to keep your navel drawing down towards your spine so that your core does the work and not your lower back. And another way you can make it stronger as well is not to land your heels down. By keeping your heels lifted, you'll be keeping the work going constantly. There will be literally no rest. Taking up to, if you've done enough, then hold turn. Taking up to 3 more of these with your own breath. Choosing how far to send your legs away. Seeing how close your knees can come to your armpits when you make contact. And then once you are done, keep your arms above your head, but bend your elbows so your arms can relax. Stretch your legs out, let your feet relax apart. Directing the next few breaths, direct the inhale into your abdomen so that as you inhale, your abdomen rises. As you exhale, your abdomen will fall. Gives a bit of release to your core muscles. Bringing your hands over by your side. Ready to take fish pose, Matsyasana pose. So for Matsyasana, bend your knees, bringing your feet in towards you. And then take your hands, lift your hips and put them underneath your hips. Press your hands down to your feet as much as you can. Your palms are turned down, your thumbs are touching. Bring your elbows in as close as you can. And then bring your hips down so that you are sitting on your hands. Then stretch your legs out away from you. So you should there be now sitting on your hands, elbows in close. Let your head just rest back on the ground. Pressing your upper arms down towards the ground, so your upper arms and shoulders press down. Lifting your chest up towards the ceiling. So as your upper arms press down, your chest will just dome up a little to the ceiling. Knowing that you can stay here, this is giving you a stretch of your upper back. But if you want to make this stronger, then you can start to press into your elbows and press your hips into your hands as you lift your chest vertically up to the ceiling, lifting your upper back and shoulders away from the ground. So imagine that somebody's placed a nice large hand right on your shoulder blades, right in the middle of your shoulder blades, and they're lifting you up. So you're lifting up away from the mat, keeping your head resting back. If it feels right, you could let your head relax back and place either the back of your head or the crown of your head onto the mat. If your head rests on the ground, though, keep the weight in your elbows. So your elbows are pressing down, your hips are pressing into your hands, you're doming your chest up to the ceiling, you're lifting the centre of your back between your shoulder blades away from the ground. Take one more breath wherever you've come to. Then a little press into your elbows so you can lift your head. Tuck your chin down to your chest. Then lower yourself back down to the ground. Releasing your hands and taking a twirl of your wrists. And from there, bring yourself slowly up to sitting. Ready for a forward fold. So what we just did there was opening up, and that's the thing that that Matsyasana does, is it really forces this position because we're pressing everything back, we're lifting our chest forward. So it's really good for posture, and it's absolutely ideal if you've just spent a load of time on a bike or you spend a load of time running. This opens everything up when we take Matsyasana, the fish pose. So we're going to take Paschimottanasana next to give ourselves a forward fold. Do consider sitting on a block for our forward fold. A block will just allow you to lift you a little higher and make it more comfortable and easy to sit with your legs straight out. If you don't have a block, it could be a cushion, anything else that just lets you lift your hips a little higher. So feet stretched out in front, toes pointing up to the ceiling. Taking your hands to your side, press your fingertips into the ground, and as your fingertips press into the ground, you can lift your chest up and maybe start to ease it forward a little. Then, before we do anything, just take one hand and place it on your abdomen, and the other hand and place it on your chest. So, keeping your hand on your abdomen still, allow your chest to come forward and down. And then if you take that back, so you get an awful lot of movement. So you might want to do that again, so bring it forward again and back. You get an awful lot of movement forward. But what you'll notice is as you make that movement forward, nothing happens to your legs. Because although we're folding forward, the chest coming forward by itself isn't giving us Paschimottanasana. It's not giving us the stretch of the back of our legs that we're aiming for. And that's because if you want to take your hands now back to your side, to get the stretch down our legs, it's all about the movement that comes from your hips, coming forward from your hips, rather than coming forward from your chest. So with your hands pressing into the ground, lifting your chest up and forward, and then maybe walking your hands forward a little so you can start hinging from here from your hips, keeping your chest lifted so that all of your forward movement is giving you the stretch down the back of your legs. And then you could maybe bring your hands forward, letting your hands then rest anywhere on your legs that they easily come to. And then start to use your breath so that every time you inhale, you ease forward from your hips, increasing the stretch on your legs. And now, to help you to relax as you exhale, you can let your chest relax forward and down because that gives a little bit more weight forward, which helps you to ease forward at your hips. And then using your breath so that every inhale you ease forward, hinging from your hips, and every exhale you let your upper body relax down over your legs. And just keep that going with your breath. Inhale forward, exhale down. So every inhale you're lengthening your hamstrings, And that lengthening is helped by the relaxing that you do on the exhale, which relaxes all the muscles down the back of your legs. One more breath. Then lift your gaze to look at your toes. Stretch your hands forward. Take an exhale, stretching you forward, and a big inhale as you lift yourself back up. Exhale, lowering your hands. Then from here, if you want to stay where you are, I'm just going to come sideways on so you can see what we're about to do. We're going to take a hip stretch. And to set up for the hip stretch, come to sitting so that your feet are hip distance apart, just a little bit in front of you, and your hands are behind you. Now, the area where this can be uncomfortable is on your wrists and on your hands. So you might want to start with your hands like this, but you might find it might help you to have them pointed out or pointing towards you, or maybe even to be on your fists if it's really uncomfortable for your wrists. With your hands where you want to start with them, lift your hips and then pick up your left foot, crossing your left ankle on your right knee, and then lower your hips back down. Now, if your hips don't easily touch the ground, you might want to place a block or a cushion underneath your hips, just to give you a little bit of elevation of your hips. Then, flex your left foot so that all your toes, especially the little toes, are heading up towards your knee. And start to press your left knee away from you. Pressing into your hands so you can lift your chest towards your left leg. And that should be giving you some twist in your left hip, which you can increase if you want more by walking your hands in. Just being aware that will strengthen the stretch on your wrists, and also by lifting your chest up and forward towards that leg. So aiming to come to a good level of hip stretch, and once you've achieved that level, relax. Keeping your left foot flexing up towards your left knee, keeping your chest lifting, keeping your left knee pressing away. I did say relax, didn't I? And then gave you a whole load of things to do. But you should be just feeling a good, healthy, juicy stretch in that left hip. Holding it for one more good breath. And then preparing to come out, relax your foot, maybe walk your hands back a little and then uncross that leg. Coming up to sitting up and take a twirl of your wrists. Then coming back, ready to do the other side, hands behind you, knees bent, feet hip distance apart, picking up your hips, so that you can pick up your right foot, crossing your right ankle above your left knee, and then slowly lowering your hips. You might be looser or tighter on this side. Once you've landed down, flexing your right foot, all of your toes heading up towards your knee, pressing your right knee away from you, and lifting your chest up and forward towards that leg. Feeling that stretch then come into play right in your right hip. Maybe walking your hands in if that's the right thing to do, or walking your hands away if that's the right thing to do. And then relaxing into this, keeping your right knee pressing away, keeping your right toes flexed, keeping your chest lifting up and forward. Enjoying that stretch in your right hip. Really using the exhale to relax. So on that exhale, letting your hips sink heavy into the ground. Taking one more breath. And walking your hands back. Uncrossing that leg and sitting up and just taking a twirl of your wrists. So this is actually a good stretch of the wrists as well. But of course, wrists can be tender, so it can be more than you need if you're not careful, if you don't listen to your body. So from here, we're going to take a lunge. So coming to kneel at the back of your mat. Let's move my camera a little. So coming to kneel with your feet, knees hip distance. Now, this is where in class I would be running around with knee pads for anybody who wanted them. So you might want to have a bit of padding for your knee, because we're going to be on one knee for a moment. If you don't have a cushion or anything to hand, you could roll the back of your mat over 2 or 3 times so that you've got padding underneath your knees. You might be fine. You might be fine. It's class. I can see cushions being got. I can see clothes being folded. I can see everybody doing what they need to do. And then once you're ready, hands relaxing by your side, bringing your right foot forward. And then once your right foot's forward, bringing your hands down either side of your right leg. Maybe moving your foot forward a little more so that your ankle is underneath your knee. You want slightly in front of your knee. So you've got a gentle slope away from you. Then let your hips relax towards the ground, bringing your right hand onto your right knee. Keep your hips low as you then lift yourself up, bringing your other hand onto that knee. So you'll be feeling the stretch in your left hip flexor. Adjust this so that it's how you need it to be. If you bring your chest forward, it'll ease. If you take your chest back, it will strengthen. It also strengthens the more you relax your hips. So if you want a bit more, as you next exhale, you could bend your front knee a little more as you let your hips relax down a little more. And that will give you more stretch. It's fine to stay here, but if you want to make this stronger, we'll take it into crescent moves. We get a back bend as well. So as you next inhale, you could lift your hands up towards the ceiling. Again, really stretching your arms as if you're trying to lift your arms out of their sockets. You could then look up between your hands, and with your arms lifting up, you could draw a line in the circle with your hands. So you're tilting your rib cage up towards the ceiling, just like we do in our sun salutation. And even if your hands aren't lifted, you could still be lifting your chest up and back, tuning that stretch to your left hip flexor's needs. If you're looking up, look forward, and as you exhale next, bring your hands back down either side of your front foot. Just let your hips relax for a moment, and then I'm going to take this into a good stretch of the back of the right leg. So just slowly start to walk your hands back. And as you walk your hands back, start to straighten your right leg, picking the sole up so your foot's lifted and your heels pressing into the ground. Just coming back as far as you're able to with that leg. You might be able to come back far enough so that leg becomes straight. You might need to keep a little bend in that knee. And certainly if you hyperextend, or if you're feeling that's uncomfortable in the back of your knee, then keep a little bend. From there, you can then let yourself relax forward over that leg. Again, just coming to a good, healthy level of stretch down the back of your right leg. Maybe using your breath so that as you inhale, you just lengthen up through the crown of your head, and as you exhale, you relax down a little more. Then to come out, coming forward once more so that the sole of your right foot comes back onto the ground, bringing your right hand onto your right knee so you can bring yourself back up. And once you're lifted, bring your right foot back. You might have a little wobble on the way. Coming back to standing on your knees, swapping over any cushioning that you've got under your knees. Knees hip distance, hands relaxing by your side. Taking your left foot forward. Bringing your hands down either side of that foot. And then bring the foot forward so that your ankle is in front of your knee. You'll see a gentle slope away from you down your shin. Relaxing your hips towards the mat, bringing your left hand onto your left knee. Having your left foot nicely firmly into the ground, then pressing into that left knee to come upright, bringing your right hand onto your left knee as well. Tuning it so if you need to lighten the load on your right hip flexor coming forward, if you want more, taking your chest up and back. As you next exhale, bend your front knee a little more, letting your hips sink lower. And then you can stay here, or if you want more, lift your hands up towards the ceiling. Stretching your arms high as they'll go. Maybe looking up between your hands and drawing a line in the ceiling as you tilt your chest up and back. Coming into crescent moon. Keeping your breath steady, maybe letting your hips relax down a little if you can. And if you're looking up, look forward. Exhaling, bringing your hands down either side of your front foot. And slowly starting to walk back as you straighten your front leg, just bringing it as straight as is right for your body. Maybe keeping a bend in that, even if your knee will come straight, if there's any discomfort in your knee or if you hyperextend. Then maybe allowing yourself to relax down a little more over that leg. Using your breath so that as you exhale, inhale, you lengthen from your tailbone to the crown of your head. So you're extending your torso as you exhale, relaxing down a little more over that leg. Maybe taking your left hip back a little. Very strong stretch here. So put more knee bend in if you need it. One more breath. Lengthen and relax down. Then walking your hands forward. Bring your foot back down onto the ground. Left hand coming onto your left knee. Pressing yourself back up straight, other hand comes onto the knee, coming back up and bringing that left foot back. And then come to standing, so you can take a bit of a shake out of that. Whatever feels like the right thing for you to do, just to release. And then coming back to sitting, ready for a twist. Again, whenever we sit up like this, you might want to be sitting on a block. I'm going to treat myself to a block this time. Legs stretching out in front of you. Picking up your right foot, crossing your right foot over the left leg. Bringing your foot in close. Taking a hold of your knees so you can draw your knees towards your chest and you can lift your chest up and forward towards your knees. Taking your right hand behind you, pressing your fingertips into the ground. And that pressing your fingertips still allows you to lift your chest up and forward. And as you next inhale, lifting your left arm up to the ceiling. Stretch and grow as tall as you can. When you next exhale, start turning your body around to the right. Letting your left arm come down to either hug your leg or to take your elbow against your knee. Taking your right shoulder back to help your chest come round. And then, if it's comfortable for your neck, you can turn to look over your right shoulder, making sure you keep your chin level. We can often end up looking down or up, and that means the top of your spine isn't straight. You want your chin to be level so that you're neither looking up nor down. Then using your breath as you inhale, press into your backhand, straighten. As you exhale, ease round a little more, but mainly easing round with your upper body strength rather than using your elbow to force yourself round. We just want to ease our spine round using whatever space is easily available, not forcing in any way. One more breath. Final ease around. As you next inhale, lift your left arm as you untwist. Exhale, lower that arm. Uncross your legs, bringing your left foot in. Bringing that in close. Hands around your knee, drawing your knee into your chest, lifting your chest up and forward towards your knee. Taking your left hand behind you, pressing your fingertips into the ground. As you inhale, lifting your right arm, stretching tall, so that creates space in your spine. On your next exhale, turning your chest around to the left, bringing your arm down to hug the leg or to take the elbow against the knee. Once your chest has gone around as far as it easily can, taking your gaze over your left shoulder. Maybe taking your left shoulder back, your chest will tend to follow your shoulder around. Making sure your chin is level and then using your breath. Inhale, pressing into your backhand, re-straightening. Exhale, easing yourself a little more into your twist. Taking one more breath. On your next inhale, lifting your right arm and twisting as you do so. Exhale to lower. Stretching out your left leg, having a shake there. And then bringing yourself up to standing for a warrior two before we come to final relaxation. So taking your legs nice and wide as they will comfortably go for you, but not so wide that you're unstable and out of control. Bringing your hands onto your hips, turning your left foot in and turning your right foot out. Then guiding your hips back around so that as much as possible you're facing the long edge of your mat. Press your left leg into the ground, particularly your left heel, allowing your knee to come back a little. And as you do that, you'll feel your left quads switch on and engage. So maybe helping that to happen by drawing them up towards your hips so that they become active and quite and firm. Then with your chest lifting, your shoulders easing back, as you next exhale, very slowly start to bend your right knee. Keep your torso upright, sending your knee towards your little toes rather than towards your big toes. Keep that back foot pressing down, keep these muscles engaged. Then drawing this leg, just drawing this upper thigh in towards your little so that this leg activates and becomes strong. Drawing both these muscles in towards your hips to strengthen them. Then as you next inhale, stretching your arms out either side. Turning your head to look over the middle finger of your right hand. Keeping that back foot pressing into the ground. And we'll use our next two breaths to deepen. As you inhale, stretch your hands wider. As you exhale, see if you can sink your torso down a little lower. Inhaling, hands stretch wider. Exhaling, sink a little lower. Hold there for a breath. Stretching your hands wide, stretching your left heel down. Seeing if you can sink any lower. As you next inhale, straighten your front leg, lifting yourself back up. Hands on hips, feet face forward. Take a couple of breaths there, let your shoulders relax. Just notice you'll often feel quite out of breath almost having done that, even though it's a static pose through the number of muscles that we work. Turn your right foot in, turn your left foot out. Bring your hips back around to face the long edge of your mat. Back foot and heel pressing, no, it's not your back foot yet, it'll be your back foot in a minute. Your right foot and heel pressing into the ground. So you're feeling the firmness in your legs, the right knee coming back a little, so that helping that leg to firm. With your chest lifting, as you exhale, slowly bend your left knee. Your torso lowers, keeping it upright. Just making sure your ankle is in front of your knee, maybe shimmying it forward a little. Taking your knee towards your little toes rather than your big toe. And as you next inhale, lifting your arms, stretching them out to the side. Drawing your left thigh bone in so that that leg activates. All these muscles drawing up towards your hips. Turning to gaze over the middle finger of your left hand. 2 breaths. Inhaling, hand stretch wider. Exhaling, sink. Inhaling, hand stretch wider. Exhale as you sink. Holding for a breath, back heel pressing down, hand stretching wider, sinking a little more if you've got any more, sink. As you inhale, straighten your front leg, turning your feet to the side, hands on hips, heel toeing your feet together. Take a shake of your legs, shake of anything else that needs it, and then from there bringing yourself to lying down, ready for final relaxation. So do put on anything warm, anything that will allow you to relax. Maybe taking something to put behind your head. One of the nice things about being in houses is there's cushions around and other soft things that you can place behind your head. Having your feet out towards the corners of the mats, having your hands away from your body with your palms turned up. Allowing your body to rest evenly against the ground. Knowing you don't need to do anything. You just have to let everything go. I'll be keeping an eye on the time, so you don't need to worry about that. You can just let yourself go. Allow yourself to drift wherever you drift. While your body just quietly gets on with benefiting from and assimilating everything that we've done in today's class. And keep your body still for a few more moments. Just gently bring your awareness and attention back. Reconnect with your body, wriggling your fingers and wriggling your toes. Bringing your legs together, stretching your arms up overhead. Press your toes forward as your arms stretch back gently, stretching out your full body. Then bring your feet together, bringing your knees up onto your chest, taking your arms around your knees and taking a rock from side to side. Bringing that to a halt. Landing your feet down, landing your head down, And from there, maybe coming to the right hand side for a moment and slowly bringing yourself back to sitting. Wonderful. Thank you all for joining me. I have gone 5 minutes over tonight. I will not do that again. My apologies if that wrecks anybody's timetable. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.